you know that you struggle with hormonal acne, but you also feel very defeated by the traditional options from a hormonal acne healing perspective? So you feel like you've been offered spironolactone, the birth control pill, Accutane, but those are just not the path you are going to go down to clear your acne. Today, I want to introduce and/or go more in depth, if you already know a little bit about it, the idea of cycle syncing for clearer skin. And it's basically the process of syncing your cycle from a holistic actions perspective to start to support clearer skin naturally. I'm also going to share the cycle syncing download that I created for you so you can start to actually implement all of the action steps that I'm mentioning. So let's discuss. Hi there, my name is Therese, and after 15 years of acne struggles, I finally cleared my skin naturally, and I created my acne clearing program, The Clear Code, to help you do the same. 10 years and thousands of clients later, I've made it my life's work to get you clear skin without harsh chemicals, pills, and/or crazy hormones. So subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. Cycle syncing is one of my favorite practices. And it's the practice of lining up your life. So your relationships, your career, your meal planning, your movement, all of the different things, right? Topical routines, everything. It's the practice of aligning those things with where you are in your cycle every month. Here's a quick overview of the 4 phases of your cycle characterized by rising and falling levels of hormones. The first phase is your menstrual phase. So that's when you're bleeding, your hormone levels are at their lowest, and when the lining of your uterus is shedding. The second phase is the follicular phase, and it's the most variable phase of the menstrual cycle, and the average duration is about 14 days. Estrogen reaches a certain level known as the estrogen threshold. Your pituitary gland responds by releasing a surge of LH, etc. In your ovulation phase, the third phase, a dramatic increase in LH will trigger the release of the egg from the ovary, which leads us to ovulation. This is our most fertile time. If you want to make a baby, do it here, you know what I'm saying? And then the final phase is called your luteal phase. So it's right after you ovulate, and that follicle that formerly held that egg collapses, and it secretes progesterone for 12 to 16 days. Then when it's not fertilized, you get your period. Essentially, the whole cycle starts over again, right? Now, that being said, every part of that phase has different needs. Raise your hand, hit the like button, and/or just type yes below if you know that you are a different woman at various points throughout your cycle. I try to not have extreme shifts in mood, for example, but this is what we're talking about. This is why. If you find that you cry a lot prior to your period, it could be because you are being impacted by either progesterone or estrogen. If you find that you have a ton of energy mid-cycle, that could be because you're ovulating. All of these things deeply impact our lives, and I love that this information is now available to us because it's vital. It's vital to understanding our lives and also to optimizing our lives. Let's talk a little bit about the themes for each part of your cycle, okay? So for your menstrual phase, I like to see this as the winter time, okay? Fuzzy slippers, baths. I'm tired. I don't want to go out. My workouts are rather light. Maybe I'll focus on taking longer walks. I definitely also won't do many things from a facial and/or waxing perspective during this time period and/or right before, so in the luteal phase, because your hormones can be shifting a lot. And I try to sleep a ton. You can also be kind of low in iron during this phase, right? This menstrual phase, because you're losing blood. So you want to make sure, I actually always make sure I have a little bit of red meat during my menstrual phase so that I'm able to kind of keep my iron levels up. Again, you can get iron from so many different ways, but I find for me, red meat when I'm on my period is super helpful. Generally speaking, you could spend the majority of your menstrual cycle journaling, taking time off, being alone, taking long walks, and sleeping a lot. In the follicular phase, you may feel that you're starting to feel a little bit more lively, right? You're starting to think about seeing other people. You want to make plans, maybe. And this is a little bit like spring. You're getting excited again about the human race. No, you just want to be around people more, right? From a physical perspective, you might feel like you have more energy and your skin probably looks pretty great. There's not a ton of hormonal shifts happening. It's a nice spot. From a movement perspective, I usually start to increase my workouts. And this is the time too, if I wanted to do any waxing or facials, I would get it around this, day 10 of your cycle. Take a note. Ovulation phase is usually everyone's favorite time of the month. Let's be clear. We're happy. We love people. We want to go out. We feel a ton of energy. You can usually lift your heaviest during this time, run your fastest. You feel like your libido is the highest if you're not on the birth control pill because you're ovulating. Things are great. So you're going to want to go on romantic dates, go to parties, do some fun planning things. I also wouldn't change any topicals during this time period though, just because you have this increase in estrogen, which can make your skin a little bit more sensitive. So I usually keep my topicals pretty samesies at this point. Ovulation phase is like summer. It's like being on the beach in your bikini. Finally, we get to the luteal phase, and this usually feels like fall, right? Especially if you've had a busy ovulation phase, you can feel yourself really slowing down, heavy. Like I'm actually in my luteal phase today, and I went to the gym. I got 8 hours of sleep last night, and the level to which I did not want to be at that gym was so high. I was so tired. It felt like I had 42 weights attached to my body. And in the past, I would have pushed through. And now, today I just did like 15 minutes on the Stairmaster and I called it a day, which is not like me. I normally lift 5 to 6 days a week. But I was like, it's not the time. It's not the time. You're gonna feel a slowdown, and that's okay. Your skin's gonna be a little bit more sensitive. This is usually, especially if you're dealing with estrogen dominance, you might experience more breakouts. You might feel a little bit of weight gain or puffiness or irritability as your hormones start to shift and fall. So luteal phase and menstrual are usually pretty linked for me, especially towards the end. I want to be in a nice warm blanket for both of the phases. I don't want to do much. The other two, I'm everyone's best friend and I want to be out and I'm going to lift 4,200 pounds at the gym. But luteal menstrual, I'm taking a nap. So now that we've gone over those 4 phases and we start to understand how those rising and falling levels of our hormones impact not only our body, our mind, but also our skin, what action steps can you take to start to better support your cycle? I have a cycle syncing guide. You can download that via the link below. And I wanted to talk you through some simple action steps you can take from a food perspective, which again, the list is in the cycle syncing guide below, but action steps that you can take from a food perspective to start to support clearer skin. Basically, like I mentioned, at certain parts of your cycle, you are going to want to lean heavier on certain types of food just based on your biological needs. So for example, foods during your menstrual phase that I would recommend grabbing are things like spinach, red meats, avocados, sunflower seeds, scallops, yogurt, watermelon. Like I mentioned, I like having higher iron foods, and there's non-heme iron and then there's heme iron. There's 2 different ways that our body can absorb and receive iron from food. And that being said, I like both. I like plant and I like meat-based action steps. But that being said, if you don't eat meat, you can grab a lot of iron just from food itself. From a follicular phase perspective, I would grab things like romaine, broccoli, eggs, strawberries, and flax seeds, lemon, kimchi, chicken. All of these items are going to support you during that kind of becoming active follicular phase. From an ovulatory phase perspective, the foods that you can grab are things like kale, because you want to support estrogen detoxification because those estrogen levels are rising. Tuna, raspberries, red lentils, dark chocolate, bell peppers, almonds, shrimp. Those are going to be some awesome types of foods that you can grab. And then from a luteal phase, I would recommend grabbing a little bit heavier stuff, right? So things like brown rice, sweet potatoes, cabbage, chickpeas, beef here as well, celery, apples, so that you can really start to support yourself pre-menstrual phase. How do all of those action steps sound? My goal with this video is to share, number one, that if you have been struggling with hormonal acne, there is definitely a solution for you, so keep going. But number two, I want you to know that the more you learn about your cycle, your body, your hormones, all of those different things, the better off you will be supported from an overall hormonal health perspective, right? The more you know, the more you can thrive. So that being said, I have a cycle syncing guide via the link below. We also talk about seed cycling. I'm sure you've heard about seed cycling, but if you haven't, it's basically the process of using 4 different types of seeds twice throughout the month to support your estrogen detoxification, progesterone levels, all of your hormone levels. And basically you'll grind up 2 different types of seeds for every 2 weeks, add them into your food, etc. But I like to have a full snapshot for you. So download that guide. You can grab that list below. It's like initially a little complicated, but when you look at the images, you can totally just screenshot them, have them on your phone, you'll be golden. And that being said, if you've had hormonal acne for an extended period of time and you are just kind of at the end of your rope about it, right? Like it's something you've been dealing with for 10 plus years, or maybe even let's say 5 plus years. And you've spent a lot of money, you've done a lot of research, you feel like it's your 3rd or 4th job, and you're tired. And you just want someone to tell you why you're breaking out and what to do about it, apply to my natural acne clearing program, the Clear Code, via the link below. In the Clear Code, we define your root acne triggers from a hormonal acne perspective, number 1. Number 2, we define what action steps that we're going to take to start to positively impact your hormonal acne. That is a huge issue for so many of us. It's like we don't know what action steps to take because hormones are really complex. The 3rd action step we take, that being said, is we start to add these items back into our life in a way that becomes a lifestyle for us. So our Clear Code, it becomes your clear skin lifestyle plan. So if you're interested in learning more and or that sounds intriguing to you, click the link below to apply. We'll hop on the phone, see if it's a good fit. And if I can help you, we'll share more, we'll talk more. But if I can't, I'll share that as well. And if you just want to get started on some natural acne clearing, I would check out our Root Acne Triggers webinar. You can grab that via the link below. It's a masterclass, and it basically outlines the 7 main reasons for acne breakouts, along with 9 action steps you can take to start to clear your acne naturally over time. That being said, if you know anyone who would benefit from this video, please send them this video. I would love to see if I can help them and or be this like spark in the darkness for them about their skin. And please make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new one, because I would love to support you on your acne clearing journey. Talk soon.